What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sideline Thoughts. I'm Gio Galvez. This is John Greenstein. David, again, unable to join us today, but the show must go on. So, John and I are continuing with this week's episode. And what we have the NFL draft. Yes, the NFL draft is coming up next Thursday. So, exactly a week away from when doing this. And today, John and I, we're going to do a little mock draft of the first round. Give who we think each team is going to be taking or what they should be taking, depending on their needs or whatever we think would fit them best. So, we're going to get right into it. NFL draft is very exciting, especially a lot of changes in the free agency this year in the offseason. So, let's get right into it. John, I'm going to let you start off. For those watching, we're going to go 1-1. So, like for the first pick, John's going to give his pick, and then I'll get my pick. And then same thing like that. And we're going to go on like that for the entirety of the 32 picks. So, this is one of our longer episodes like we used to have before. But
yeah, it's gonna be
for
a
the same,
definitely like about over an hour, so be prepared, guys. Just
yeah,
sit tight with
well,
us.
yeah, let's just see. We're all gonna get through it. But I think it's gonna be fun, John. I think we're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be cool seeing which each of us think. So let's get right into it. John, let you go first.
Cool. All right, so with the first pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears are drafting quarterback USC Caleb Williams, the phenomenal quarterback. Obviously, the Bears traded Justin Fields, so they need a quarterback, and he's gonna be well. He's the best on paper, but we'll see if he does the best in the field. Obviously, he did really well at USC, but he didn't really play his last 8 games, or it was like 7 or 8 games. Like he took off because he didn't want to get hurt for the NFL. But he's the
No, he
best
did play.
talent. No, he took off the last like month at least. Because
He took off the
remember,
last game. He didn't play the
no, it was the last
their
month.
bowl game.
He didn't play like the last month, like in November or December.
No, he did. I'm telling
Well,
you,
it
he
wasn't
committed
games,
against
but it was
UCLA.
a month he took off.
Yeah, because there was nothing to the bowl game, in which he didn't play the bowl game.
But yeah, so I have him going to the Bears at 1, just because you can't really mess up with him. Well, you can, but like he's just the top pick and the talent on paper, and I'm gonna go with him. So yeah, what about you, Gio?
For the number one pick, yes, via the Panthers from last year's draft. The Panthers wanted that first overall. Bears switched it up. So Bears this year. I also had them getting Caleb Williams. The reason for this one, before they traded Justin Fields, there was a lot of speculation what they're gonna do. We're gonna trade the first pick again, where they're gonna keep Justin Fields and draft some protection for him as it was kind of viewed needed on the O line. So there was a lot of talks where they're gonna, use it to get Caleb Williams. And the talk pretty much got narrowed down and told pretty much they're getting Caleb Williams once they traded Justin Fields to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Originally, I thought they should have kept Fields because although I don't think Justin Fields is as great as some fans may say he is. I think a lot of it had to do with the Chicago Bears organization and the changes in so many coaches, him having to learn something new every single year and not being allowed or given the opportunity to develop the best way he can. I blame that on the Bears themselves and not on Fields exactly. But moving on from that, from Caleb Williams, now the situation comes to this. It is the Chicago Bears for the last how many couple, maybe 20 max years, they haven't been the best organization aside from the one year that they made
The Super Bowl.
the playoffs and they went pretty far this year. This time, the organization hasn't been the best, especially when it comes to developing the quarterback. Now the question is going to be: are they really going to stick through with Caleb Williams, or are they going to just treat him like another Justin Fields, right? And the thing is, are they going to be able to develop it? Now, I'm not saying Caleb Williams is the greatest quarterback ever, but he's a very good, talented, run out of the pocket, be able to make those crazy, flashy passes, and has a solid arm to go deep enough. Are they gonna really develop him and use him correctly? Now they did a great job in the offseason getting weapons. They traded Darnell Mooney and they got Keenan Allen, so that's a much of a bigger upgrade. They've upgraded the running back position, getting DeAndre Swift. So now it's one, you're gonna need that O line. Two, you're going to need a little bit on the defensive end because although the defense picked up a lot after trading for Sweats with the Commanders halfway through the season last year, they're finding themselves. The Bears are looking much better than they were just a year and a half ago. But are the higher ups, the coaches, the training staff, the GMs, all of that, are they going to make the right moves? Are they going to get the right personnel to develop and carry this team up? That's the issue that I see of it. But yes, Caleb Williams going number one. He's the best, most talented, and best option QB in the draft this year.
All right. For my second pick, I got the Washington Football Commanders taking quarterback Drake May from North Carolina. He's the next best quarterback in the draft, I think, and you can't really miss on him. He's probably has most underrated talent because nobody watches him because the ACC doesn't really get as much attention as, like, you say, a Big Ten school or SEC. So he could be one of the most surprising quarterbacks in the NFL this year if he gets drafted by the Commanders. He might put him in the right direction. But yeah, that's my number 2 pick.
So I just want to say before we go on further, I say mine. At least for myself, I'm doing these drafts not trying to anticipate any trade ups or anything yet because we do not know. So myself, whatever the order is right now, that's whatever the order is until draft day where the trades go up. But I'm not gonna be making those options except for one team I gave the possibility. But aside from that, I'm gonna just continue how it's going. So for the number 2 pick, the Washington Commanders, I have actually Jaden Daniels, quarterback at LSU, going against John, your pick of Drake May. In my opinion on this, Jaden Daniels is the much more talented QB after Caleb Williams in this draft. He's clearly the much more talented, much more versatile. When he runs the ball, he's not afraid to run the ball and run the game. But then again, that's going to be a big issue. And that whatever GM picks him, you're going to have to, you're putting your career, well, not your career, but that job position on the line because you're taking a quarterback that, yes, he's able to be mobile. He's able to read defense and move around. But the issue is he tends to get tackled a lot. And in the NFL, it's different from college. Even though it's been said even by Derrick Henry that the SEC is the closest level of college to the NFL, and it's still a big gap, the players, the defensive ends, the tackles, the edges, the middle linebackers that are going to be hitting, he's going to get hurt very early, very soon. So the Commanders are going to have to develop him in a way to think and choose really when to run and how far and when to run out of bounds instead of trying to get those extra yards that could be very, very bad. But I think just talent wise and everything is Jaden Daniels. Now, I don't say that Drake May wouldn't possibly be there because they just had like a Sam Howell and in that similar playing style. And I think Drake May would be closer to Sam Howell, whether they want to go back in that direction. But they just traded Sam Howell. So, in my opinion, I don't think they would have. I think they would look to something slightly different. They're going to go Jaden Daniels for that reason when it comes to just the best next pick.
So, Jaden Daniels, number 2 for you?
Yeah, Jaden Daniels.
All right. So, for the third pick, the Patriots, I have them going for a wide receiver. It's Marvin Harrison Jr. That's the third pick, I think. I think they just want to take the best player available because obviously they would try to take Caleb Williams if they could, but they can't. So they probably just they're going to build around a receiving core. They want to start somewhere because they really had no receivers from last year. They didn't really have much help in that realm. They had a running back that was pretty good. I think it was Damian Harris, I think.
Ramondre Stevenson.
Oh, no, Ramondre Stevenson. Yeah. But they have that. They just need a receiver, man, like to help the offense. But yeah, it's the third pick.
So now the thing is, but you had this pick. You could get something else. Would the Patriots, in your scenario, trade back? Because there's still going to be solid receivers going into the middle of the draft.
It's possible.
10 to 15. But right now, you just have it.
Yeah, I have him right there just for the third pick. If they stay third, that's what they're going to pick.
Well, for the third pick of the Patriots, I have him getting Drake May, the quarterback out of North Carolina. He has the arm strength. He has the ability to play. It's not that he's trash or he's not one of the good ones. No, He has the arm. He has the ability to play. Like I said, it's very similar. He's not much of a mobile quarterback in that he's always running out trying to get those extra yards. No, he can sure when he needs to, but that's not what he does. And I think that's gonna fit as we've seen the success of the Patriots under the reigns of Tom Brady. It's he ran when he had to, but really it wasn't as much. It was more in the pocket, just making any plays they can, keep the drive going and get it down. I think Drake May could fit that. I think he could play in that. And the only other thing is that the Patriots have already said that whoever they get is going to be sitting behind uh I believe it's Brissett. Yeah, they got
Zappy.
Brissett. No, they
It's
got
not Bailey
Brissett.
Zappi.
No, they said
They have
Brissett.
him though.
Brissett's gonna start. Is gonna sit behind him for the year, maybe two. So they're gonna allow May to develop. They're gonna allow him to go. The thing is, not the only thing about the Patriots. It's you're in the third pick. Yeah, May's not a bad pick at all. But in my opinion, this isn't a very strong QB class. And do you want to use this on Drake May and gamble that he is the next franchise QB for you, or would you want to wait for next season? But that means you have to do really bad next season to get the best option.
Yeah.
So it's a lot to think about right now. I think they're gonna go with Patriot with Drake May on this one.
Okay. Cool. So for my fourth pick, the Cardinals, I had them going a receiver as well. I had them taking the guy from LSU, Malik Neighbors. I think he'll fit well with Kyler Murray, and Kyler needs another weapon. He doesn't have Larry Fitzgerald anymore. He doesn't have Zach Ertz at the tight end position. He's very limited to help. So I think he'll fit in there pretty well. But yeah, that's the fourth pick.
My third pick for Cardinals, I have them getting Marvin Harrison Jr., the wide receiver out of Ohio State. The Cardinals just lost pretty much their number one receiver, which was Hollywood Brown. He's going to the Kansas City Chiefs. They need someone for Jamal Murray Jamal Murray, sorry, for Kyle Murray to throw the ball to. They're gonna have to get another receiver. So I think you have to use his fourth round pick on a receiver. There's a lot of speculations that they may trade back down. Whatever that is, that could happen. But for now, I have them going wide receiver, covering that spot that they need right there, and then moving on to a different position later on down in the draft.
Okay, for the fifth pick, we have David's team. He's not here to make it, but the LA
Yeah,
Chargers, man. I got them taking the dude from Washington, Romeo Odunes. I think he'll be an electric
Dunce.
weapon for Justin Herbert. Yeah, Odunze. Justin Herbert's gonna love this guy. He's just gonna throw the ball downfield. They're gonna be best friends. It's gonna be like another Bengal situation with Joe Burrow and Jamal Chase. So that's my fifth pick.
See, for the Chargers on their fifth pick, as much as I like Romeo Dunce and I liked how he played in Washington, I'm actually going to go with Malik Neighbors going, the wide receiver out of LSU going to them. These just fits overall. In my opinion, he's faster, slimmer. Rome Odunze. It's a bit wider, slightly slower, but I think he's also a great fit. I wouldn't be surprised if they go either one. So right now, I'm picking Malik Neighbors, the wide receiver from LSU, but I wouldn't be surprised on the day of the draft they pick Odunze, and I think they'll do just as great. Both of them either as great. They're interchangeable, although they have different, not completely different. They have very similar abilities, but each one has their own difference. I'm gonna just go Malik Neighbors on this one. And in a Chargers team that's in
Cool.
dire need of a wide receiver, especially when that could be a wide receiver one. It's either one, but I'm taking Malik Neighbors.
All right. Well, you're gonna laugh at this pick for the Giants. I have for the sixth pick. It's very New Yorker style mess up pick, but this is my guess what they're gonna do. It's gonna be a quarterback too. It's gonna be J.J. McCarthy. They're gonna
JJ
draft him.
McCarthy.
I've been hearing all the radio shows that they really want him. They want to draft up for him. I hear they're trying to trade up for him. It's a possibility
Which would
because they really
be
like
dumb,
him.
but
I know. That's why I'm like, it's a
no
very
one's
New
gonna. The
Yorker
4 and
style.
5 aren't gonna take him.
Yeah, I know. It could literally get him at six. You would expect me to say
Yeah,
Jaden
but
Daniels, but no, I have JJ McCarthy going there just because I know New York is gonna mess it up somehow. So yeah, that's my sixth pick.
Well, for my sixth pick for the Giants, I'm not. When I went into this, I looked at what they needed, which was a lot. There's a lot of options they could go, to be honest. This is one team that I think a lot of options they could go. I wasn't taking into account the New Yorker way of doing these draft picks, and I wasn't gonna predict what I thought they were gonna take. I'm predicting what they should probably take. Now on this one, I have a couple options. My options in different positions were Roma Dunze, the wide receiver from Washington, Christian Hayes, the offensive guard from Penn State, Jerzan Newton, the defensive tackle from Illinois, Quinion Mitchell, the cornerback from Toledo, and running back from Texas, Jonathan Brooks, because obviously they lost Saquon and everything. But I think out of all of this, they're going to go Roma Dunze, wide receiver. I think they also do need wide receivers, at least one that really stands out to being the number one. So I think they're going to take that with Dunze, take the chance with them. The reason why I don't think they're going quarterback at all is because they paid so much for Daniel Jones, and it's just gonna look. It's good. One, Daniel Jones looks like the type to kind of get a little jealous if another quarterback's taken. I don't think, or I don't know. I could be wrong. It just doesn't seem like he would, be a good mentor. And even if they draft a quarterback, they might need to sit under Daniel Jones until he possibly gets injured again and plays. So I think it's just a lot, and all the money they're paying Daniel Jones might as well just use them to the end, or you somehow trade them off. But that's going to be a whole thing. I think right now, just show Daniel Jones are going to stick with him, get him another weapon in a wide receiver, and move on to that. And the rest of the draft, you have to fill out all the other positions, whether that's running back, guard, defensive tackle, corner, everything else. Deal with that. But I have Roma Dunze, wide receiver, Washington, going number 6 to New York. That six pick, that seven pick, you're muted.
So for the seventh pick for the Tennessee Titans, I need Will Levis to get more protection, man. He was getting sacked so much last year, and it's got to happen. So we're gonna get a lineman for the Titans, offensive lineman. It's gonna be Joe Alt from Notre Dame. That's who I'm gonna have, and hopefully he does the job because Will Levis didn't really have a fair shot with being hunted down by linebackers all the time. But yeah, there's my seventh pick.
For my seventh pick, the Tennessee Titans, I have them also taking Joe Alt, the offensive tackle out of Notre Dame. I agree with you. They needed some O line. They need some help. Joe All is the best option there. He's definitely a top 10 talent. He's the best offensive tackle there. They need help in order just to get Will Levis some time to get the ball out. So it's going to be a big help. He's definitely going to be plugged in from the start of the season. In my opinion, if he does great in training camp and preseason, all that, I think he's really going to be plugged in into it and playing a high, solid role in that. So again, I think it was kind of a consensus that Joe All is going to Tennessee. So you have to get ready to start moving a little southeast.
For the eighth pick, guys, we got the Falcons, and I have them improving their defense. They're going to get an edge rusher from Alabama, Dallas Turner. I think the offense will be pretty good when they have Kirk Cousins now, so like they really don't need to worry about that. I just think they need to help out on the defensive end and try to be the top defensive team in the NFC South. Try to take control over it. Keep Kirk Cousins on the bench for a little longer. But yeah, that's the eighth pick.
For the eighth pick, the Atlanta Falcons, I also have them getting Dallas Turner, the edge out of Alabama. In this draft, there's three really top good edges. Dallas Turner is one of them. And the reason why I have him going first out of the other two, out of the total three edges, his overall versatility and his ability to more stop the run game more than rush the pass game, to rush the quarterback, stop the pass game. He could do both. Don't get me wrong. He has the ability to do both at the highest level. But I think what stands out slightly more is his run game defense. And I think that's what the Falcons are going to want to use, especially in a conference with Kamara, with them White from the Bucks. And in that, I think they would need a middle linebacker that one not only could, like I said, versatile, could stop the pass game, but he's also going to really stop the run game. So I think he's going to help out the Falcons a lot. So I think he's the best option for that double edge multiple in the situation that the Falcons are looking to stop the run game more. That's why I think Dallas Turner is the best one.
Yeah, I agree. And now the Bears started drafted the first pick with a quarterback. I think they're gonna go on the defensive side here. They're gonna get a cornerback, Quentin Mitchell from Toledo. I think they really need to improve more the defensive side because they already got a bunch of weapons on offense. They don't really need it now because they picked up, was it DeAndre Swift? I think they got Keenan
Keenan Allen.
Allen. They have, what's his name? The guy DJ Moore. Yeah, they have him.
Still have DJ Moore. Yep.
Yeah, so they still have like good weapons on the offensive side. I think they're settled there. And if Caleb Williams works out, that'd be great. But I think they really need to improve that defense because you need to have great weapons on both sides of the ball. So there we go. Number 9, man.
For my number 9 pick, the Chicago Bears are sticking on the defensive end, but I'm not going to the second. I'm going edge, and this is where the option of the other two edge comes in. I think the Bears in this situation, they're looking to get a pass rushing edge, one that could also stop the run game, but their specialty mainly is the pass rush and the ability and the quickness. This is one situation where I have two options on here. I have two options where they're gonna go, and depending on who the Bears pick, this other option is dropping later. But there is no right or wrong. I mean, sorry, there's no wrong answer here. Whatever you pick, if the Bears go this edge, I think it fits them. I have either Liatu Latu edge out of UCLA or Jared Verse defensive end edge out of Florida State. Both very similar in the play. Both, like I said, they focus more on the pass rush defense than on the running game, but they're able to stop both. I think Bears go Liatu Latu. It kind of looks like they've shown him out more. They brought him over. I think they might go him over Jared Verse. However, Liatu Latu does have a history in college of severe injuries. The reason why he had to stop playing at University of Washington, missed 2 years of playing, and then get transferred to UCLA and then came back to play. He had a phenomenal season. I think they go him. If they do not go him and go Jared Verse, very similar, I think it has to do with the medical reason. But on this pick, I'm gonna take Liatu Latu going to the Bears. As a UCLA fan, as a Packer fan, as you guys see, I wish they rather go Jared Verse, but right now I think they're gonna go Latu.
Well, we had different picks, but it's a good pick, I think. All right, for number 10, we have Aaron Rodgers' New York Jets team. So it's going to be an offensive weapon he's going to get. It's going to be a tight end, the first tight end of the draft. It's going to be Brock Bowers out of Georgia. And I think he'll fit in well with Aaron Rodgers. He's obviously not going to be a Gronk, but he could turn out to be maybe in years to come. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully, Aaron Rodgers and him will mesh. Hopefully, he doesn't get like Hawasaka on his players on this team. Maybe just keep them calm, be nice to each other, don't be an a hole. But yeah, that's my 10th pick. Hopefully, the Jets figure it out.
With the 10th pick, the New York Jets are actually gonna go offensive tackle J.C. Latham from Alabama. He has played right offensive tackle in Alabama, and that's the spot that the Jets need. That's the opening, the gap that they need. They just got the left tackle, Tyron Smith from the Cowboys, so now they need a right tackle, and that's who they're going with JC. Look, Brock Bowers, phenomenal player. I've watched obviously a lot of other people, but here I've watched him since his freshman year at Georgia. I really thought he was going to be top three type of draft at that time, not knowing which team's going to need what. And last year, prior to the draft, when the Detroit Lions traded away T.J. Hawkinson, I thought, okay, they said they're gonna draft something else, and the following year, which would have been this year, they were gonna draft Brock Bowers, not knowing how good they were gonna do, and not knowing that they were gonna draft Sam Laporta out of Iowa. So I had already 2 year prior kind of thought that Brock Bowers was gonna be a Detroit Lion. Lions went somewhere else. It worked really great for them. That's good. Now Brock Bowers is here. To me, Brock Bowers is for sure a top 5 talent, just talent itself. Situation is not teams in there need a tight end. Now it goes to Jets. ESPN, like you, John just said, he's going to go 10 to the Jets. He would be a great player to pair up with Aaron Rodgers, great player. He would do, and the best thing about Brock Bowers is he's not really he can play a block type of tight end. He could block out kind of like Kittle, but he's slightly more like uh, Travis Kelsey, just not as big, but he's like Travis Kelsey. He's close enough to even be a wide receiver, which they could use. But getting him these weapons and stuff is not going to matter if you can't get someone to protect them on a side that he really needs help in, where it could lead to again another injury from Aaron Rodgers, which would just take the Jets back to last season. So I think you need to go with really what you really need, and that's a protection for your QB that you made the trade for, and get yourself an offensive tackle. So Jets, J.C. Latham out from Alabama.
Okay. So for my 11th pick, I have the Vikings obviously taking a quarterback. I have them taking Jaden Daniels. That's where I have him at. I think he'll fit in well because he still has Justin Jefferson on his team. Don't forget that. That's going to be a match made in heaven. They're gonna look good. It's gonna be like Lamar. I think he's gonna be like a Lamar situation where they fit well with each other because Lamar had what's his name, Hollywood Brown, I think his name was.
Yeah,
I can't remember his.
Yeah, Arizona.
Yeah, they had him with Lamar, and they worked out pretty well the first season. They didn't obviously go for it in the playoffs, but they had a successful year, his first year. And yeah, I have Jane Daniels from LSU fitting in there, and I hope he does well for the Vikings. So I know you don't, but because they're your rivals.
With the 11th pick, the Minnesota Vikings, I have them again going quarterback, but I have them going JJ McCarthy. I think after having Kirk Cousins and the way they have a style of having their quarterback, I think JJ McCarthy fits that there. Giving them a weapon as Justin Jefferson will help them a lot. I know Michigan won. I didn't think JJ McCarthy because of how they used to Michigan. I don't think he was very good, and I don't think he's getting too much hype that he should be getting. And a lot of it had to do with the way that Jim Harbaugh was playing. So now we're going to now he's I have him going to a Vikings team that may allow him to throw the ball a lot more, and it's not just short, screen passes or something. He's going to be able to get it down to Justin Jefferson, get it down to whoever, Jordan Addison, or T.J. Hawkinson. You're going to have these options to get it down to. So let's see how the Vikings develop him and use him. I do think he's going to be sitting out majority of the season behind Sam Darnold, just because Sam Darnold is now more experienced. Yes, he's not a franchise quarterback as the Jets try to use, or even the Panthers, but he is very he is knowledgeable. You got to use him. He's been in the league already with multiple teams. You have to use Sam Darnold there. Allow him to develop JJ McCarthy, and then by the end of this year to next year is where you start using JJ McCarthy as your starting quarterback. We're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna see him a lot this year, but I think that's the pick they go. I think that's the way that fits them. Let them go there. There's a lot of talks that they trade up for him. Again, I don't think it's needed. I don't think he's good enough to get to be gone in that first 5 picks. I think he drops to them at 11. So, I mean, the Vikings need help on the defense, but I don't think they're going to. I think they feel like they need to get their franchise quarterback now and allow him to develop instead of waiting until next year. Similar situation to the Patriots.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for number 12, the Broncos, I have them taking a pass rusher, like an edge rusher, Leitu Latu out of UCLA. That's where I have him going. And I think he'll be like the next Von Miller. It's just going to be like a great pass rusher. So hopefully he fits in well there. And yeah, Leitu Latu is my guy to go in there. They don't really have anything. Like, I would have said pick a quarterback, but there's nothing really quarterback worthy at this point in the draft. They're kind of stuck, so they have to pick the best available player. And I feel like he would have been the best available player at this moment. So that's why I chose Leitu Latu. Otherwise, it would have been a quarterback if they were like top 10 pick or top 5 pick. But since Jane Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, Drake May, Caleb Williams are all gone, none of them are worthy to go to at that pick because you got to take the best available player at that point.
For my 12th pick with the Denver Broncos, I have him going quarterback, Michael Penix out of Washington. Broncos have a very tough quarterback situation right now with their starting quarterback being Jared Stidham. I think they realize how dire their quarterback room is, and they're gonna go quarterback because they just need someone who they could develop in there. They're gonna have a rough season, they know it, but someone that they could at least get there, be there for maybe 4 or 5 years, and be all right. They're gonna go Michael Penix. The thing is, the issue that they're gonna be watching out is his injury, much like Liatu Latu. Big injury. We saw a lot in the college football championship game against Michigan. He took big hits. He was hurt in the ribs, everything like that. He's gonna be getting those, and he's a lot older than these other quarterbacks in there. So it's something to look into. But I think because of the situation, Broncos gonna go quarterback. If they did not go quarterback, I think they're gonna go wide receiver. It's gonna be Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU, wide receiver. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think they're really gonna go Michael Penix Jr. and just fill in that quarterback situation.
Okay, that's a. I have Michael Penix in the first round, but not going there later on. So you'll see what happens with that. All right, so Raiders are in a similar boat as I said with the Broncos. It would have chose a quarterback, but there's nobody available that's worthy at this moment. At least I think. I mean, sure, you could take Michael Penix, but I don't think he's worthy of a 13th pick. But I think they're going to take Terrion Arnold, Alabama cornerback, and they're going to try to buff up that defense with Max Crosby already being at the defensive lineman there. Hopefully they can help him out. I think they're going to try to buff up that defense because they have, was it Gardner Minshew, the quarterback now?
Yeah, Gardner Minshew.
I think they're going to play it out this year and hopefully try to get a better quarterback next year in the draft. But yeah, that's my pick for that.
So for the 13th pick, the Las Vegas Raiders, there's a lot that there's a lot of talk that they want to trade up to the second or third pick and get Jaden Daniels, which I think would fit them very well if they were able to do that. If they were able to get two or three, I think Jaden Daniels goes to them. And whether they trade the Commanders or Patriots, one of them is getting Drake May. That's that's how I see that. But if that trade does not happen and they're still at 13th, there's two options I think they go. I think the first one, they still go quarterback to learn and develop under Gardner Minshew. I agree with you. Gardner Minshew, I think he's going to be the quarterback for this season. I really do. And yes, I agree that by now there's not like the best abundance of quarterback options here. But I think they feel like they need to get something for the next year or two, like following after Gardner Minshew. And I think the best similar playing style and similar option to Jaden Daniels is Spencer Rattler, quarterback out of South Carolina. He did have a major attitude issue coming out of high school, going to Oklahoma, even playing in Oklahoma. But I think he humbled down quite a bit playing in South Carolina and going over in the team that he thought he was going to be leading a number one in Oklahoma. Now playing in South Carolina, realizing, okay, change my attitude, change how I present myself and be better, be a player, and it helps on the field overall. So I think they could go in. Now, if they don't even want to go quarterback, and they go Gardner and they stick to Gardner Minshew, I think they get protection and offensive tackle out of Washington and Troy Faltano. I think they would get him. But right now, my first option is they're going quarterback Spencer Rattler. That's just right now on me. The Raiders, it's a tough one because they're showing that they really, at least the fans are still, or even some of the offense looks like they really want a QB. Let's see if they stick to that at 13. But if not, I think the backup would be offensive tackle.
Okay, I mean, that's a good pick. But for the 14th pick, I have the Saints taking an offensive lineman, J.C. Latham, Alabama. Sorry, there's an offensive tackle, and I think they need to protect Derek Carr because obviously Derek Carr, like Will Levis, got destroyed. Like Derek Carr got hurt almost every other game last year. They really need to protect him because otherwise he's just going to be a washed quarterback that's going to get hurt every other week. He'll be on the injured list, or he'll may have to recall Jameis Winston back. I don't think he's on the team anymore, but I'm just saying.
No, he went to Cleveland Browns.
But yeah, they have number 7. Oh, Taysom Hill. Yeah, Taysom Hill's like their only backup, and you don't really want Taysom Hill to play quarterback. He's not terrible, but you want Derek Carr to be in there every week if you can. So you got to give him some protection. That's my 14th pick.
So for my 14th pick, the New Orleans Saints, I have them also going tackle, offensive tackle. And this is where I think Depending on what the Raiders do, I think the Saints get Troy Faltano, offensive tackle out of Washington. I agree. They need protection on the quarterback. They need to cover Carr after getting tackled so much. So I think this is the best option for them. For me, on my thing, like I said, JC Latham is still going to the Jets. So Troy is the next best option here on this situation. If for some reason the Saints weren't going to go him, I think they'd probably go wide receiver because of Michael Thomas going to be gone. So either they're going to Donnie Mitchell, wide receiver at Texas, or Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver at LSU. But I think they're not going to go for that. I think they're going to go offensive tackle, or they should at least go offensive tackle to protect the quarterback.
So for my Colts pick for number 15, I have them taking Kool-Aid McKinstry. Mr. Kool-Aid McKinstry is going to go there, and I think the Colts need to beef up that defense. Because, I mean, they have Michael Pittman Jr. on offense. They have Anthony Richardson as one of the most underrated quarterbacks, but he was hurt most of the year last year, so this will be a fresh start for him. So we want to get him to sit on the bench longer. Like, he needs help on defense. So that's my pick for 15.
For my 15 pick, the Indianapolis Colts, I have them going offense of the side of the ball. There's two options I was really in between, but I'm going to go with this option that I think they could really use. I'm going to go Brock Bowers, tight end out of Georgia, going to the Colts. The reason is the Colts right now don't really have a star or even a stud tight end right now. They're the number one tight end, apparently in the depth chart, is Keelan Granson or Mo Alley Cox. Who Mo Alley Cox is more the veteran, been there, not a veteran, but been there much longer. Um, they really need a tight end, and like I said, Brock Bowers could play even the wide receiver. He has the build to play wide receiver. He's a catch, he's a weapon. He was one of the best weapons in Georgia in the last 3-4 years. They could use him out wide receiver there, and I don't mean like put him in the wideout. I mean like throw him the ball. He's like the J.J. Hawkinson type of player. So get him out, like I said, Travis Kelce, T.J. Hawkinson. Get him out. You could throw him the ball, open it out wide, and that gives less pressure on Michael Pittman to be guarded. So I think they go Brock Bowers tight end. If they weren't going to go him, I think the next option was going to be Talese Fuga, offensive tackle out of Oregon State. That would have been the first two picks that I think would have right or wrong, but I'm going to go Brock Bowers first on this one. And John, I was looking at the defensive side for them too. I think what they would have gone if they needed if they're going to go defense, was Brian Murphy, the third defensive tackle out of Texas. But I don't think they're going to be looking at that in the first round unless they trade a pick to come back in.
Okay. Well, for my team, the Seattle Seahawks at the 16th pick, I have them taking a defensive linebacker, Cooper DeJean from Iowa. He will fit in well with Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner's going to mentor him. They have
Cooper DeJean's a corner.
I thought he was a defensive back. Well, he's on the defensive side of the ball so.
Yeah, he's a defensive back. He's a corner, but specifically.
Yeah, but he's gonna be helping Witherspoon, who was a rookie last year as well. Like Witherspoon was one of the best cornerbacks last year out of the rookie class. So like, I think they're gonna really need to go back to the Legion of Boom. Like, they need to be like that again. We need to reincarnate that. Like, we got to get that started again. Because Geno Smith can only do so much. He's not the best quarterback. Because they got to pay him. There's no way around it. So we can't really
draft. But you guys have Sam Howell now. You guys traded for Sam Howell.
He sucks. He's not going anywhere. He's a backup.
I wouldn't say he sucks.
He sucks. Sam
Howell should definitely be the start. No, he has the arm strength. He has the ability. I wouldn't say he's like a great quarterback. No, but definitely
he's washed.
No. He's barely third, fourth year.
Yeah, I haven't seen any improvement. I think him and Zach Wilson are on the same level. So. All right. Well, there you go. My Seahawks getting a defensive player, getting ourselves back to the LOB, Legion of Boom. But yeah, your Seahawks pick, Gio.
For the 16th pick, I have the Seattle Seahawks going offensive guard out of Kansas State, Cooper Beebe. Now I understand, John, your need for defense, and my backup option if the Seahawks win defense was Peyton Wilson, inside linebacker out of North Carolina State. However, on this one, I'm gonna go offense. I'm gonna go BB. The reason why, because Seattle, and when it comes to the O line, I think you guys need an inside offensive lineman. You guys need an inside player. Him playing guard, Cooper Beebe, he's on college. He also played offensive tackle. So I think that versatility, I think Seahawks is going to see the versatility of being able to move him in any spot in the line from guard to tackle, or even, I don't know about center. He will be able to learn to play center, but being on either side of the center gives him a lot of versatility, a lot of brings up his stock and the ability to play him even more if someone gets hurt. I think Seattle sees it. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they would look past that, and I think they're gonna take. They're gonna use that pick on him.
That's fair. They do need help sometimes on the offensive line. So
Especially with Geno Smith getting injured twice last season, and now you're getting some help to back it up. And to prevent him from getting injured, you're gonna need some help on that O line.
yeah, but that's what we're gonna do, I guess. So, but for now, number 17, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting a receiver, just because I don't like what Calvin Ridley did last year. So we're gonna throw in Keon Coleman to help Trevor Lawrence. He's from Florida State. Hopefully, he can be an electric threat for Trevor Lawrence downfield. Maybe make the difference for them winning that division. But they gotta play with Houston, who really is going to be a tough team to beat now with all those acquisitions they got. Because you saw they got Stephon Diggs now.
Mm-hmm.
They got all those rookies they had from last year that were amazing. But yeah, so that's the Jags. They're going to try to compete with Houston. I think they're going to get another receiver.
I think Coleman is a very good wide receiver. I think he's just cracks the top five in some people's mind. I think he's very talented. Slightly underrated, but he was highly rated during college season and he went down. So I think now he became slightly underrated. So he is a good player. He's a really good player out of Florida State. But for my 17th pick, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars going Christian Haynes, offensive guard out of Penn State. Because of kind of what you stated, all these weapons and stuff like that, I thought maybe you would have gone corner because of this Stephon Diggs. But I have guard because you're playing in a place where they're going to be rushing a lot. You're going to be rushing QB a lot, so I think you just need to beef up that O line. Get your guard in there, get Christian Haynes, and just block him out. Give Trevor Lawrence the time to throw to your receivers or even your tight, even Evan Ingram. Give them the time that they need. Get him out, or even if it's a short pass to Travis Etienne, you just need them to get more time. I think that's what we saw this season. So I have them going offensive guard.
Okay. So for my 18th pick, I have the Cincinnati Bengals selecting a wide receiver as well because you might lose out on T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. They might be gone. You never know.
We don't.
So
Jamar Chase is staying. We don't know if T. Higgins is going to get traded or not because he's on the franchise tag, but he asked to be traded.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they got to replace him. They're going to throw in Brian Thomas. I think he's going to be the next replacement. So that's who's going to be the 18th pick. And we'll see if it works out. I mean, Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, so I think he could work with anybody. Unless you're Antonio Brown, then I would say no. But yeah, I mean, I think that will work out well for them. So yeah, that's my 18th pick.
So with the 18th pick, I have the Cincinnati Bengals going Olum. Let me try to say this name. Olumuyiwa Fashua, offensive tackle out of Penn State. Yes, I have a lot of tackles going out right now in this middle stage of the draft. The reason was I think you just need to bulk up on a lot of these O lines. Wide receivers are available, and John, I think that's not a bad pick at all. Going wide receiver, especially Brian Thomas Jr. I think that would be a really good one. But I'm going off the facts right now that they still have the two wide receivers. So until they had, by the time we're recording this, if they had traded um T Higgins, then I probably would have gone wide receiver on this situation. But here, I think they need to protect Joe Burrow a bit more. I think they're going to go offensive tackle to help him out. even if they don't go offensive tackle, I also think they go defensive tackle, either Jerzon Newton or Brian Murphy the third. It it was either one of those. You just need to get tackle. But I think the first are going to go offensive tackle. Wide receiver is definitely a need that they could use just in case T Higgins does just play out his franchise tag. They would have that wide receiver coming back, but I think they could go that in the second round.
Okay. So for the hometown LA people out here, I have the Rams selecting Jerzon Newton from Illinois because Aaron Donald's retired. They need to replace him. So why not draft one of the best linebackers in the draft? Like I think the Rams have. Well, they did really well last year with one of the players they drafted. I can't remember his name, but he was really good, and hopefully they can have like another great rookie like Jerzon Newton hop in and get like 10 sacks maybe this year.
What you're talking offensively about Puka Nakua?
No. They had this guy. I don't know if it was a draft. It might have been an undrafted free agent they signed, but like he helped out Aaron Donald. He was right next to him. I can't remember his name, but yeah, hopefully it works out this year with him. So let's go with him. Yeah, that's the pick for the 19th.
For the 19th pick, I have the Los Angeles Rams going edge Jared Verse. He's the last one in my mock draft, the last of the three best edges there. Like I said, they could need someone who rushes quarterback, especially when you're playing San Francisco, who has one of the best O lines. One of them, you need to rush Purdy, get the ball out of his hands quicker, or even try to stop Christian McCaffrey. You're in a division where Christian McCaffrey is the best running back. You're gonna have to stop him somehow, some way. So I think an edge is gonna either rush the pass game, like I said, Jared Verse, his best ability, much like Liatu Latu, is rushing the pass game, but they could also stop the run game. So let's see how they use him, or of course they have the middle linebackers because Jared Verse and Liatu Latu. The reason why I say also stopping the run games because at times they've also played outside linebackers at their college, so they're able to play either one. They could put them there, put them on the end edge or whatever they need to do. They're versatile to move there. So like I said, Jared Verse is the next available option, depending on what the Bears pick. Because the Bears go Jared Verse, then I have the Latu going to the Rams, staying in LA. But like I said, I have Bears going the Latu, Rams going Jared Verse, whichever. That's just how I see it. And then not only just Christian McCaffrey, you have Kenneth Walker in Seattle, and then you have the Cardinals having James Conner as a
Yeah,
running back. So you need to stop it right there. So I think the Rams go there.
so he's a good run stopper for the defensive side.
Hmm.
Okay, cool.
Or just rush the quarterback. You have these quarterbacks that you need to rush.
All right, well, we're moving on to the lonely Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers for a 20th pick. I have them going with the wide receiver, Troy Franklin from Oregon. Troy. So we'll see how he works out. I don't know much about him, even though I think he would fit there, but like I don't know 100% about him. Like I just threw a name in there and just hoping that he could fit in there because I have no idea what he's about. But it looked like he was like the best available, so I put him there. But yeah,
Okay. With the 20th pick, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers going Terrion Arnold, cornerback out of Alabama. I think he's going to fit well pairing up with Joey Porter Jr. Joey Porter Jr., growing up in Pittsburgh, his dad played for the Steelers. Growing up playing, I believe, played Penn State, getting drafted by them. He did very well for them last season as much as he played. I think pairing up Terrion Arnold with Porter Jr. would give one just this youth to the corners and the ability to keep up with now the younger, faster wide receivers. I think it helps him out a lot. And I think Terran Arnold playing in Alabama, he's a very tough, hard player. And I think that fits in that Steelers, that Steelers way of playing, playing hard, fighting for it. If they weren't going to go Arnold, I think the other options that they would check would either be Jackson Powers Johnson, center out of Oregon. That's if the Steelers don't want to go in house for the center position, or for wide receiver because of course they lost Dante Johnson to they traded him to Panthers. I think they would go Loud McConkey, wide receiver out of Georgia. I think he would fit very similar to Johnson's playing style. He would fit right there, and it wouldn't affect. Um, Pickens' playing style and allowing him to, be that long ball throw, 50-50 cat. I don't think it would affect. So you put him concretely right here on slot, play out. I think if they went wide receiver, he'd be one of them. Or if they wanted speed, Xavier Worthy, wide receiver out of Texas. But I think that's for later on. I think right now they go Terrion Arnold, bulk up and make that cornerback room really young to help out.
Okay. So for the 21st pick, I have the Dolphins getting Tua protection. I have them getting Amarius Mims, who's an offensive tackle. And Tua, I mean, he's a wrecking ball. He'll get injured easily, just as like any other quarterback would. But he's very fragile. He's a China doll. He gets concussions like every year, it seems like. So I say, why not get him another big man in front of him? Just get offensive tackle. And I think Amarius Mims would be great for the Dolphins. So yeah.
I think Mims is a really good player. I think he would help out a lot where he goes. But for the 21st pick, the Miami Dolphins, I have him going offensive guard from Michigan, Zach Zinter. I think Zach, there was a lot of eyes on him since his sophomore year of college. Um, he's really stepped up. He looks like he could even play center to help out in there. So the Dolphins does need a interior offensive lineman. I think Zinter's big enough. He's able to block enough. I think he gets the two of the help. I agree with you, John. Two of this need the help. So I think they go with Zinter and on this one, on this pick. But Mims is a great pick. I think if they go him, he would help out a lot too.
Cool. So for the Eagles at the 22nd pick, I had him getting a cornerback, Nate Wiggins from Clemson. I think he's really going to help out on that side of the ball because I think the Eagles are fine on the offense. I was debating on getting them a receiver or not, but I was like, you know what? They just extended one of their
Yeah, they just
receivers.
extended
So I'm like, you know what? They need to go
Devontae Smith.
defense. So, like, yeah, they have Devontae Smith. They have A.J. Brown. They're fine there. They don't need help on the offense. So I figure why not get one of the better defensive corners in the draft, Nate Wiggins. So, yep, that's why I'm going with that.
So I also went defense for the Eagles. So with the 22nd pick, the Philadelphia Eagles, I have them going Quinion Mitchell, quarterback out of Toledo, the cornerback. I have them going defense too. It was either Quinion Mitchell corner, or even in this one is where there's a possibility they also go this position, and I don't think there's any wrong in it. They go linebacker out of Texas A&M, Edrin Cooper. I think the Eagles need help on the linebacking position, and they could use a lot of help in the corners. Quinion Mitchell, according to ESPN, he's the number one corner option, the best corner option. I have him going after Terrion Arnold, and the reason was because I want Terrion Arnold. He's very talented, and I think his grit and playing tough fits with the Steelers' style playing. And the Eagles are what he would fit with the Eagles too, but I think Steelers get that pick first, so the Eagles get the best next option with Quinion Mitchell. Um, After that, it would be Kool-Aid McKinstry on that option because again, Alabama, you play hard, you play tough, but I think Eagles gonna go the best one out of Toledo, Quinion Mitchell. If not, they go linebacker out of Texas A&M, Edrin Cooper. But it's either one of those two.
Okay. So for the Vikings, I have them for their second pick of this draft. I have them going a cornerback as well. They're going to get Kamari Lassiter out of Georgia. He's going to improve the corner defensive side of the ball. So, like, obviously, they're going to get Jane Daniels, like I said earlier in the draft. So they don't really need too much offensive help since they already have Justin Jefferson. And then they have just, I don't know all the other pieces they have. I just know Justin Jefferson's the key core of the team. I don't really see any running backs like ever get drafted in the first round because there really isn't any special running backs in this draft. I've
Last year,
noticed. Yeah, like it's been pretty bad this year, and there's like no special running backs. So yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna have them go with defense. So yeah, it's that 23rd pick, Kamari Lassiter.
all right. Well, with the 23rd pick, the Minnesota Vikings, I have them going defensive tackle, Zaire Newton out of Illinois. I think, like I mentioned earlier, John, the Vikings need help on the defensive end as well. So because of this, I think they could use something in the line in the trenches to fight off. I think they go defensive tackle. I think Zaire Newton is the best option, even though ESPN has Brian Murphy the third, which wouldn't be a bad pick at all either. At all, he wouldn't be a bad one. I just think Newton. would go over on this one. So
Okay. Well, that's fair. But for the Cowboys, the 24th pick, I had them going offensive lineman. They got Graham Barton from Duke. The Cowboys, all they can do is protect Dak. So there you go. I don't really
oh,
know
okay.
too much about him, but I figured best offensive lineman available, give him to the Cowboys.
All right, with the 24th pick, I have the Dallas Cowboys going Mason McCormick, offensive tackle out of South Dakota State. The reason why I went offensive tackle is because it's to replace Tyron Smith, who just left to the Jets. He was their left tackle. McCormick could play that left tackle position. I believe he can also play that right tackles, but they're going to use him on the left side. I think it's much needed that you instantly cover that hole. And in that situation, yes, to protect that, John. I think their second option to go because they really don't have an explosive running back room. They would have gone Jonathan Brooks, the running back out of Texas. He is right now the best option out of the running back room. But like you mentioned, this running back class is not all that great. So I think next year might even have some. I already know I have Judkins out of he just transferred from Ole Miss to Ohio State. I think he's going to be the number one running back for next year. So so I think a lot of teams are gonna might wait until then. But for now, I have the Cowboys going offensive tackle.
Okay. So for your Green Bay Packers, I had them getting an offensive tackle. It's Olu Fashanu. I have him. I think he's out of Penn State. He's gonna play for the Green Bay Packers next year. So give Jordan Love some great protection because he already has running backs. He has decent receivers. Jordan Love is going to be a great quarterback, I think, again next year. So obviously, we're not going to draft a quarterback.
Yeah, yeah, no. With the 25th pick, my Green Bay Packers. I actually have them going defense once again because that's kind of what the Packers have been doing for so long. They're going defense, and I have either two positions. Either one, they're going to go either one. They're either going to go cornerback or safety. If they go cornerback, but I think there's going to be the first one, they're going to go Nate Wiggins, cornerback out of Clemson. Again, went off the high balls. He's not afraid to rush the quarterback when he can. He's able to read. He could keep up with a lot of these receivers. He's fairly quick. So I think that's what we need to. And very, like I said, he could fight and win those 50-50 on top. He has good read on the offense. So I think we could get Nate Wiggins on cornerback. But if they don't, they go safety. I think they go Javon Bullard, the best safety out of this draft here, out of Georgia. So I think they're gonna go either one, but I think they're covering that secondary. And to pair up with Xavier McKinney, um, Xavier McKinney. So to pair up with them, I think Packers go there. I'm not against the idea, John, of going offensive line, but I think knowing how the Packers are, we're gonna go defense first.
Okay. All right. So for my 26th pick, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selecting a quarterback. I got them drafting Michael Penix Jr. out of Washington. This is where they're going.
Wow,
So
wow, okay.
Baker is going to be good for a year or two, but I have him being mentored. Like Baker's going to mentor Michael Penix Jr. He's going to sit behind him because I think the Bucks need a quarterback because Baker can only be good for so long, and
Mhm.
I don't trust Baker, so I would take Michael Penix Jr. to be the future quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which I think would be awesome to see at least. I mean, that's who I got for that. So I mean, he's my last quarterback in this draft. So
For the 26th pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I have them going protection for Baker Mayfield. Satawa Laumea, offensive guard out of Utah. I just think he could use some more protection. And not just Baker Mayfield, but I think the run game could use some more protection. So being able to having someone big enough to, you know, open up the gaps and stuff like that, I think the Buccaneers need that. So I think they're going offensive guard.
okay. So for the 27th pick, I have the Cardinals getting Talis Fuaga, offensive lineman out of Oregon State. I think we need to protect Kyler Murray. Why not do that? So there you go. 27th pick.
Well, I have a lot. Well, no, actually, no. I take that back. It's only one. But for the 27th pick, the Arizona Cardinals, I have them going Chop Robinson edge out of Penn State. He's the fourth best option, defensive edge. Again, I think you need something to stop the run, stop the pass. And again, you're in a division where you're playing Christian McCaffrey, you're playing Kenneth Walker, you'll be playing the running back from the Rams.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
It's
complete. It slipped out of my mind. You're playing them. They're going to be running the ball really good. I think you need someone to help and cut it off, either for rushing the quarterback or stopping that run game. I think they go edge here for the Cardinals. So they need to go on defense after getting a much needed weapon on the offensive side to help out.
okay. For the Bills, you know where this is going. Wide receiver all the way. They're going to get Xavier Legette out of South Carolina. That's my 28th pick. And I think the Bills just need offensive help after losing Stephon Diggs. I mean, Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, but he can't just run the ball. He's got to have receivers that can get open. He still has Shakir and him. I think he also only has actually right now Shakir because they lost Gabe Davis to Jacksonville. Stephon Diggs is gone, so they have to draft a receiver.
The number one receiver right now is Curtis Samuel from Washington.
Yeah, and they have Shakir as their number two.
The number or Shakir would be either one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I agree with you. Different player, but I agree with you. I think with the number 28 pick, the Buffalo Bills, I actually think they go Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver out of LSU. Like I said, he in my mock draft, he was on the possible option sites, but he wasn't a for sure one, like I've been saying. And a for sure one, if he drops that much, I think the Bills go wide receiver, like you said. I think they go Brian Thomas Jr., just having the height, the ability to win those 50-50s and get yards after. I think all of that. I think Xavier Legette is a great option because of similar in the height and gain those extra yards on to have that. So I think that's a really good one, John. But I'm gonna go the better talented receiver and go Brian Thomas.
Jr. Okay. So for the Detroit Lions, their 29th pick, I have them getting Jared Verse, a running back for a defensive stopper for the run. And I think they need to buff up the defense because they can obviously run the ball. They have the best running duo, and yeah, so they have Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, the best dynamic duo for running backs in the NFL. And I think why not give them more time on the bench? Defense, that's the way to go.
So I agree with you. I think they should go defense, but I'm not going edge or anything close to the line. With the 29th pick, the Detroit Lions are going Cooper DeJong, cornerback out of Iowa. He's a top 5 corner in this option. Yes, they talk about there's no white boy corners, anywhere in the NFL. Well, he might be one of the first few right now, and I think he's going to Detroit. I think he's going to be able to help out. He has the height, he has the athleticism. I think he's going to help out really well in the secondary that we're kind of getting cooked quite a bit. So I think that's where they're going to go corner.
Okay. So I have the Ravens at 30 taking a defensive linebacker. I got them taking Darius Robinson from Missouri. I think he's going to fit in very nicely with obviously they had one of the better defensive teams last year, and why not buff it up more because they already have great offensive weapons. So yeah.
No, I agree with you on that. That Robinson would be a phenomenal pick, especially helping out after losing some defense. But because this defense that they lost stayed in division, and ideally, yes, it'd be good to replace that. I'm going this first pick. I think they're gonna protect the quarterback. I think they're gonna protect Lamar. They're gonna open up those gaps for Derrick Henry now, and to help out to give Lamar time to make passes or even run the ball. I think with the 30th pick, the Baltimore Ravens are going Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. I think they could just beef up that line because they're going to get a lot of rushing now, especially in the division that players move within the division and some got stronger, a little weaker, whatever the situation is. It's right here. So I think they're going to go Guyton. this situation, but I think Robinson would have been obviously the perfect next guy if they go that. I completely understand.
Okay. So let's see. For the next pick, we have the 49ers
Mm-hmm.
at the 31st. I have them taking an offensive lineman, Washington. He's from Washington. His name's Troy Fatanu. And I mean, the Niners really don't need anything, but might as well just give the quarterback more protection because Brock Purdy, why not? Get him some more help.
Okay. Well, I have two options with the 49ers and going for their secondary. That definitely needed a lot of help this season. Well, not a lot. I take that back. That definitely needed help, and we saw it towards the end of the season. So I have two options for them here, also, much like the Packers. With the 49ers, I think they either go corner or safety. It could be either one. It could probably be safety. And I'm gonna have this out. So first, I have corner Kool Aid McKinstry out of Alabama. I think if they get him, they could plug him in at times. He could learn under Ward and Lenore. He could, again, he's a hard, tough player. He's gonna learn under those two that are very good. So to see how they develop in there. And if they don't go corner because they think they really need a safety spot, and the Packers don't take it, I think Javon Bullard again, best option for the safety position. He's out of Georgia. I think they could go him and plug him in very soon, quicker than they think to play for them.
Okay. All right. For the last pick of the first
Last pick,
round,
we got to the last pick.
Kansas City Chiefs,
Mm-hmm.
former champions, former, what was it, 3 times now Patrick Mahomes has won it?
Patrick Mahomes has 3 Super Bowls. Yes, he does. Out
Okay.
of going 4 times.
Yeah, he's almost halfway to Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think actually he is halfway to Brady right now.
Yeah, it would have been different if he beat Brady. Would have 4 rings and Brady would only have a
6.
6.
Yeah,
Would have been
definitely
crazy.
he's getting up there. But yeah, so I
Mm-hmm.
think they're gonna get Mahomes another receiver. They're gonna get a guy from Texas, Adon Mitchell. That is my pick for the final first round. And I think Mahomes is just gonna relish with the dude because he's gonna say like, "Oh, I got a young kid who I can teach how to run these routes." But yeah, I mean that's the final pick of the draft for me. Gio, what is yours?
With the 32nd pick, the Kansas City Chiefs go wide receiver. Now, for me, it's two options depending on how you want to play it. Now, they got Hollywood Brown, so they finally got a solid veteran receiver there who's going to be there. Who's going to learn under him, right? Because you have Rashid Rice. Rashid Rice there already also doing fairly well there. So it's is this person going to take the number 2 spot from Rashid Rice? Is it going to be number 3 and move up? Who knows? You do have Kelsey who likes to again catch the ball and stuff. But this wide receiver, depending on how the Chiefs go, do they want to go speed? Do they want to get a possible another Tyreek Hill? Obviously not as fast as Tyreek, but in that possibility, they go Xavier Worthy, wide receiver from Texas. Now I'm not against your Adonai Mitchell. He's actually a really good receiver as well. He's more cut skills based, like short. Xavier Worthy, great hands off the catch, yards after the catch. But what sticks out is his speed. Of course, getting the fastest 40-yard dash. But not just that, he was known for speed. And even before his speed, the prior years in Texas, he was arguably their number 1 receiver until Mitchell stepped up this last season. But Xavier Worthy was always that star wide receiver that I even knew. I thought at the time could have been going top 10, depending not knowing the other receivers that went. So, Chiefs want to go speed. Xavier Worthy. If they want to change it up a bit and they want to get a DK Metcalf type of build of player, they go Xavier Legette out of South Carolina, the wide receiver. He is tall, he is big, gets a lot of after the catch. He is very much like
Stephon
DK
Diggs
Metcalf.
too.
No, but he's big like DK Metcalf.
Oh, like Bull.
He's built, yes, he's built like that. So 100% Chiefs are going wide receiver. Question is, are they going speed with Xavier Worthy, or are they going big built with some speed? Well, like a decent amount of speed, just not as fast as Xavier Worthy with Xavier Legit. Either way, they're getting Xavier. That's all I gotta say.
All right,
Either way.
I'm
So
down.
but yeah, John, we did it. We did our first round mock drafts, man. So hopefully, let's see. I think this is kind of an idea of where these teams are going to be going. But we could get it wrong. Last year, I had Christian Gonzalez being the first corner taken for the draft from the Seahawks. I had Seahawks getting him, but instead they went Witherspoon, who I think Gonzalez was still a better, more talented player than Witherspoon. But again, Witherspoon was number 2, and they had Gonzalez drop to the Patriots. So who knows? Who knows? I think one that I might really just hit on is the edge picks with the Falcons, the Bears, and the Rams. I think they really do go edge. So it's just who goes which where. Um, Aside from the top 5, but other than that, yeah, man, there it is. There it is. Hopefully, my Packers we do something.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a Super Bowl contender. I think the Packers are going to be really good next year. They definitely are going to be up there with the Lions. I think it's going to be them, the Lions, Niners, obviously. Hopefully, Seattle's in the mix. And then I think the Rams will be just as good next year. I know they don't have Aaron Donald, but Aaron Donald was kind of washed last year a little bit, so he wasn't really the best.
Yeah, but it was at the end. Now it's time for a young tackle to be in there to put some pressure.
But yeah, I mean, the NFC. I mean, the NFC East, I think, is probably the weakest division in the NFC. And then it's the South, obviously, but I think the East and the South.
Mm-hmm.
The West and North are obviously the best 2 divisions in the NFC.
West and North are the best. I think the South and the East would be fighting.
Yeah, because Eagles and Cowboys are just mid. I mean, they're good, but they're not great.
The thing is, I think the Eagles and Cowboys could beat any team in the South, but I think any team aside from the Panthers, I think the other 3 teams they could beat the Giants and the
Commanders.
I'm blanking on the 14th. The Commanders. I think those 3 could beat the Giants and the Commanders. So it's like NFC East, NFC South for 3, and then NFC East. So that's why I said to me they're like evened out.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. I think the Eagles and Cowboys will make the playoffs, but
I don't know about Eagles. Actually, no, I take that back. They have Saquon now. So yeah.
I think the Eagles will. I don't. The Cowboys are mid. Like they're all right. They were super overrated last year, as you saw. The Packers destroyed them in the playoffs.
Damn right we did. Shit. That's Packers' home field in the South. That's all it is.
I mean, it's Cowboys suck. I'm not gonna lie. So
no, but that's what I'm saying. Packers Packers are in the North, but when they go down south, their home is right in Dallas. It's just another home game.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll see how the season looks out. I mean, we'll have a better look of how the teams are going to be once the draft is over in a few weeks. So
draft's over, and we have the scheduling, like which game is playing when, who they playing when.
We'll probably do an episode on that of scheduling.
For sure, not probably. We for sure will.
Well, yeah, we will, but whenever they release it, we don't know. But it could be early May. It could be last week of April.
All we know for sure is Packers playing the Eagles in Brazil for week 1. John, anything else you want to say before?
No, I think we had a good draft episode here. I mean, we've seen like what we think who's going to go where for all the college players. But yeah, kind of excited for next week.
Yeah, tough. David couldn't do at least his Charger pick. So thanks again, you guys, for watching. This is Sideline Thoughts. I'm Gio Galvez. This is John Greenstein. See you guys next time.
See you later, guys.